Oh.
Hi, I'm Janine Finney. And
I'm Lori Muirhead.
my daughter Lori, and we are the authors of The Flip Flop CEO, which we wrote because of our own experience with having totally opposing views of on the subject of network marketing. And we are doing these calls because we really want to help people that don't really understand network marketing understand it better and kind of get a glimpse of the kind of people that are successful in this business and hear from people with different backgrounds. So today we have our guest is Jules Price, who is in both of our books. She's in The Flip Flop CEO and Does the Shoe Fit?
Yay!
And so Jules' background is a performer. She's a professional singer and actress, and I just love that we are talking about this subject because I think that this business is so perfect for people that are in your business. And this is about people from other backgrounds understanding this business and making the transition. But I think for what you do, it's so perfect because of the freedom and flexibility that people have. And people who are very passionate about acting and performing need to be flexible. They've got to be able to go on
Auditions,
thank you. And
travel. I know you travel a bunch, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're kind of a big deal. So if you're kind of a big deal, you have to travel. Yeah. And I think you're going to do a performance for us at the end.
I don't know. Maybe. It's very expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
we should have built that
Yeah.
in. That's a good idea.
Stay till the end and see if she can.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is just read a couple of the things. We're going to read a couple things from the book that you wrote. And in the Flip Flop CEO, as part of your story, one of the things that you said that I think is good for us to talk about is that you said, I'd always liked the idea of creating a residual income, but never pictured myself representing other products I'd seen. I never wanted to feel salesy. And I think that probably resonates with a lot of people. It definitely resonated with me. I don't think anybody really likes to be salesy, but I think what it exemplifies is the opportunity here. Because I think that you do not have to be salesy in this business at all. If you really find a product or service to represent that feels like something that you really believe in, which is what people have the opportunity to do when they're choosing a company, you're really just getting to go out there and share something that you believe in. So it's very different than being salesy. So maybe talk to us a little bit more about, how that went for you. And had anybody ever approached you about network marketing before? And if so, or just tell us what your experience was and what your thoughts were about network marketing before you got involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you said, really sums up how I felt. That I think a lot of people don't think of themselves as salespeople, and there's kind of a strange negative connotation to sales in a lot of ways. Even people that are in sales say, "Oh no, I don't do sales," because there is just people thinking, "Oh, salespeople are pushy," or salespeople want something from you. So, a lot of people in network marketing, that's really important to them. When they join, that they don't feel like they're selling something to their friends and family. And also, I think that's maybe a reason why people don't join network marketing a lot of times, because they're like, no, I'm not good at sales. I think a lot of us have experienced that it's actually better if someone's not good at sales, because again, that's really not what we do. It's about finding something that you're passionate about, that you would recommend with or without a check coming in about it, and then creating a network of people that all really enjoy sharing that product. So yes, I had heard of, other network marketing companies. I wasn't unfamiliar with it, but I never had that feeling like, oh gosh, I really want to represent that thing. When other people had, either they tried to recruit me and right away I said, oh no, that's not something I would do. Or I just, the product was fine, but it just wasn't something I would wake up every day wanting to tell people about. Mm-hmm. So with my particular company, that was the case. It was, it crossed my path. I thought, oh my gosh, I would tell people about this regardless. And I couldn't even believe they were going to pay me to tell people about it because I had never heard of it. I right away saw the value of it. And then on top of it, I thought, of course I'm going to be a customer, and I can't believe that this is an aspect of it that I can get paid. I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to own an island, I just saw the opportunity with this before I even had a single customer. So I think that, many people are in that position that they're in a network marketing company, maybe because of the product. And then the fact that there was an opportunity attached really made it exciting because they were going to use that product anyway. And that's certainly how I felt with this. And I've been in my company 9 years and I've never felt like I'm selling it. And, I always feel like, my gosh, if I show this to you and you don't want to use it, then, don't, and so I've never really ever felt like I'm selling it because I truly see the value so much in it that when people use it, I know it changes their life. And so I'm just excited to tell people about it all the time. And I don't feel like I'm selling them anything.
That's when the magic happens. And that's when you have found it for you. And I feel like you've got to go out there and find your tribe, but you have to go out there and find that thing that you don't feel like you're selling, because that is where belief has a sound and people can hear it. And when you were talking about the sales thing, I just think it's so funny when I run into people that are like, oh, I could sell anything. So if I could sell anything, I can sell this. And I'm like, okay, that's not the person I'm looking for. So just a big red flag. If you're like Miss Salesperson and you love that you can sell, what is it, ice to an Eskimo or whatever, I would say run from that person, because they're not understanding that this is a people-to-people, very connection, relationship-oriented, belief, passionate business. I don't know. Belief.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's about the value you bring to the person you're showing it to, too. So, if you're doing it right, you don't feel like you're bagging people and getting them. You feel like you're bringing value to what you're showing them. And if they connect to it and they want to join you, great. If they don't connect to it, they don't have to. Exactly. So that's just not sales. We all ultimately have products that we do make commissions on. So it is sales in the strictest sense of the word, but it's just a little bit different than being a salesperson, because you're creating networks of people that all use and enjoy a product.
Yes,
exactly.
And speaking of being different from sales, I think it is so different from your profession of being a professional actress and singer. So I love the question in Does the Shoe Fit? What have you found to be the biggest differences between your previous career, which is still your current career? And that's what I love too, is that, oh my gosh, if you have found the career that you are passionate about, you are so lucky. So stay with it. And that's what is so brilliant about network marketing, is you can do that alongside whatever you're doing to have more choices and own an island, like you said.
And invite your friends.
Exactly. And then perform for us.
Yeah.
And you said in response, some of the biggest differences is that you said in network marketing, you can truly be the master of your own success and have a huge opportunity to get where you want to go if you do the work and follow a system, versus always waiting for someone else to put you up on stage or give you a shot. And I think that's huge, and only you can really speak to that. But really quickly, you said performing is a lonely profession overall because it's ultimately all about you, whereas, oh my gosh, this could not be more team related and all about other people. So I would love to hear your take on that.
Yeah, I mean, the both those blurbs that you read are really, really important to why I connected to this. The first thing is that although some people think, network marketing is so different than performing, it actually has a lot more parallels than you would think. A lot of it is, you have a vision of where you're going. You believe in yourself, before you have the proof that it works, or before you have the proof of anything. You just have to see where you're going and not get discouraged along the way by, the naysayers or whatever. But so there are a lot of parallels. I'm sure maybe we'll talk about some of the other ones on another question too. But basically having the control of your own success was one of the important things in the question that you just read to me, that I really connected to, because one of the things I didn't love about performing, and I still, although I still perform, I don't audition a lot now, but was your whole life, you have no control over truly your own success. I mean, you can maximize your chances by putting yourself in the right situations, by meeting the right people, by making sure you have the right coaching, and again, similar to what we do in MLM. But in general, every time you go and you sing for 30 seconds and someone says next, and they're seeing 700 people that day, you go home and you just, you don't know if you're doing the right things, and you don't know if you're going to have that success, and ultimately it's in other people's hands all the time. And in network marketing, right away when I was, this fell into my lap and I thought, this is amazing, I realized that this is something that I was in control of my success. I'm in control of how many people I show this to. I'm in control of how much time I devote to this. And, obviously the more numbers you have, the more results you get. And every day I remember thinking to myself, can I show this to one person a day? And I remember thinking, I can do that. And that was me being in control of my own destiny. And then when you have results from that, of course it's exciting, and you want to show it more, and you want to, you want to continue doing more of what's working. But all of a sudden I was kind of back in a world that had, numbers and ranking, and you could track your success, and you could see your checks, and you could, compare yourself with other people in a friendly, competitive way. And after being, 14 years in a profession where there were no numbers and rankings, and you could only judge your success by what show you were in, if you run into an actor in New York and you go, how are things going? People mean, what show are you in? And people that you answer that, whatever, even if you did a show 5 years ago, you're like, oh, I just got off of Les Mis, whatever. But like, that's your only measure of success. And so, there's a lot to be said from being in a profession where you can be responsible by putting your actions to the test, by doing the work, by being coachable. And then the results that come from that, you can measure it, you can track it. And that's really, really exciting. A lot of professions, there's no real measure of success, and it's harder to find that satisfaction from it.
Yeah. I love what you're exemplifying right now. It's so, I think, perspective and what our past experience has been is so important to this business, because if you haven't had a lot of experience where something was frustrating about what you did before, you maybe are just kind of ho-hum in this. But when I can feel from you that, when you're when you are a performer, you do have to wait for somebody to call you. And then it seems like all the stars have to be aligned for it to really work out.
Yeah.
And for me, when I got into this too, I had worked so hard for so many years and had, gone to work in the dark in the morning and come home in the dark at night. And so, oh my gosh, this felt like I had died and gone to heaven. I could not believe that people made this kind of money doing this. And so really it's
something that's so simple that we do already every day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and the other thing that Lori said about it, performing can be a lonely profession, that was something really interesting to me, because I never thought of it that way while I was doing it. But when I was really looking at kind of the differences of why I feel so fulfilled now, it really does make a difference when you're adding value. And obviously as a performer, you add value because there's people in the theater and hopefully you're giving them an experience that touches them. But then you go home and it's still just all about you. And, if you have ever wondered why so many actors and comedians are just, they're a wreck. These comedians you think are amazing are depressed. And it's because it is very lonely. And it's when the focus is all on you, there's this pressure, and it's a very strange thing. Whereas in network marketing, it's not about being a star. And in some companies, or most companies, you kind of have to at least get some momentum going and be that mini star before you take a back seat and lift up others. Otherwise you'll never kind of get off the ground with your momentum. But ultimately, it's not about being the one on stage and being the one in the spotlight. It's about raising up others to be leaders and being the one in the back of the room clapping for your team. And that's very different in performing, where you're like, oh, I'm the star, and you want to be the one on that stage and you don't want to clap for anyone else.
Well, so, your livelihood depends on you being the best at what you do. Whereas it couldn't be more opposite of when you sponsor people, you want them to be so much better than you.
Yeah.
You're excited. Oh my gosh, this person is way more anything. You just want them to be, we call that sponsor up, sponsor something better than you. And in your profession, that would be so scary. You would never want to find the perfect singer because you'd be like, could you hide so that no one knows about you? And versus, oh my gosh, that is so exciting. I want you to succeed. Let me help you succeed. Let's lock arms. So
that environment has got to be super. I never really thought about this, but it's got to be super, super competitive. And very much like the corporate world where you are kind of always, looking over your shoulder. Because if somebody better comes along, you're going to be threatened by that.
Yeah, you don't look so good.
It's brutal. It really is. I mean, I still am lucky enough to, to sing and be a part of that world on a different scale than I did when I lived in New York, because I'm not putting myself out there every day with auditions. But yeah, it's really tough. And I would say that it's made me the person that I am today, and probably been a good part of my success in network marketing has been that my whole outlook, my whole life was shaped by, learning what it's like to have that vision and go after your goals and not get discouraged by obstacles. And, nobody moves to New York and goes to 2 auditions and both of them say no, and then they move back to Ohio, or whatever. You have to have that vision and you have to have that belief. One of the things in my book that I wrote about that I think is so cool, for those of you that have ever seen the show Jersey Boys, I worked I was a transcriptionist for news networks in between my singing jobs. And I worked in an office with John Lloyd Young, who won the Tony and like 3 different major awards for his role in Jersey Boys. He was the originator of that role. And everybody thought, where did he come from? He came, up overnight. I'm like, I'll tell you where he came from. He was a transcriptionist with me on 47th Street for years, and he would do children's theater just to get his health insurance and, all that things of like paying your dues and being in the right place. And he even auditioned for Jersey Boys like 6 times. He was not the original Broadway person. Even when they were moving to Broadway, they already had someone else in that role. And he just kept putting himself out there. And at the last minute, when they were moving from the Chicago company to Broadway, they finally cast him, and then he became this overnight star. But anyway, I mean, it's just such a cool thing because, it's all about, just knowing where you're going and putting yourself in those situations and hearing the no's and getting back up and managing those disappointments. And I think it's like that in any profession, to have massive success. Nobody is like, oh my gosh, I tried a few things and now I'm a billionaire, I mean, it's like you've got to have those bumps in the road and those obstacles, but it's made me who I am today because of that. But anyway, the main thing that I really made that shift in network marketing was the day that I realized that it wasn't all about me. And again, it's not like I really thought it was, but I just saw the difference. I'm like, you know what? This is about creating leaders, inspiring others to find whatever it is in themselves, that they have this, they could do this. And that's my favorite compliment, from a training, is when someone comes up to me and says, I can do this, because I know that I've inspired them to see it within them, not teach them, hey, little people, here's what you need to do. It's about helping people become more of who they already are. Yeah. And that's what's so special about this profession in general.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, and all of this really is kind of what we've already been talking about, but we haven't really said the word that I sum it up as, but what things are the same in your previous career in network marketing? And you said in both professions, you have to have a strong vision, set goals, go after it despite obstacles that arise, and there are many obstacles that arise, and believe in yourself, whether anyone else does or not. And I think, I sum that up as resiliency, and that's what you've just exemplified. I mean, I think the more resilient you are, the more likely you are to be successful in this business, because as long as you don't give up, you're going to be successful. As long as you keep on talking to people and sharing what you're excited about.
And anyone with a team, anyone that has built a team, a significant team for sure, but even just a team, that didn't happen overnight. I mean, that was a result of continuing to just put yourself out there and show this to people and just see, because I think the parallel between what you do in your profession and what you do in network marketing is really, it's the faith, it's the vision, it's the going out there with zero evidence that things are going to work out. I think that's why people quit. There's like zero evidence. Yeah. There's no security. There's no like paycheck saying, well, we know you're going to do good, so here's a paycheck. Like, you just have to keep going and build that up. So it is resiliency. That's exactly.
Well, and also if I can just add, in addition to resilience, which is huge, you also have to always be growing. So obviously, you could not give up and keep doing the same things that are creating no results until the cows come home. And it's not like you're going to suddenly get successful just because you didn't give up. You have to always be learning, always be reading, always be growing, always learn and be coachable from the people that are having success. And one of my favorite things about this profession is it's true that, the people that become millionaires in network marketing, it's because they became the person that they needed to be to get there. Mm-hmm. And that's what's so cool about what we do. And you guys and myself and every person you ever see that's, training on stage or written a book, it's because they've done what they needed to do, and they're continuing to do what they need to do to always be growing as a person. And that's what grows, in addition to being resilient. You keep going, but you also keep fine-tuning what you do and becoming the best person that you can be in your mindset and in learning your skills that you need so that you're going to have those results by not giving up.
You're exactly right. I'm glad you added all of that. That you can't just not quit. It's and personal growth, a lot of it.
Well, and I think personal growth is something, I don't know, I've gotten just sort of, I think everybody does it, but they don't. I mean, I think that we do in network marketing, everybody does it, but in the world out there, I don't think that everybody's quite as into it as we are in this business.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah. One of the other questions and one of the other points that I thought you made that was really a good one to talk about is, compared to your previous career, what do you most appreciate about network marketing? You said, again, a lot of the things we talked about: creating your own future, building residual income, being in control of your own activity. But you said, I love seeing that anyone can succeed if they're coachable and hungry. And in your profession, you have to have talent. I mean, you couldn't take Lori and I and turn us into singers, believe me.
My husband even said I was tone deaf. So in Hollywood,
and she got it
or Broadway.
Yeah. So I mean, that is the other thing that is so cool about this. When you have friends around you that, when you're successful, you want your friends to be successful too, so they can go play with you.
Yeah.
And in most professions, you can't do anything about your friends. You can help them and bring them with you.
Yeah.
Because in your profession, they do have to be talented. And so I love that.
Yeah, one of the things that's so unique about our profession in network marketing is that it's not about, being the best speaker and the best looking and the best this or that. There's so many people that we know that have made massive, massive paychecks in network marketing, and you think, how'd they do that? And that's what's so awesome about it, because it is just about learning the skills, being consistent, being coachable, continually honing what you need to be doing, and looking for people that are better than you. You know what I mean? So it's not like in the performing world or many other worlds where you have to be that top level to get any measure of success. And I think that's good and bad. I think a lot of times people go to their convention and they look at people up on stage, and instead of thinking I can do that, they think, wow, I'm so inspired. There's two different sides of being inspired I've always thought was interesting. Some people can hear someone and be inspired, but in their mind, they're being like, wow, I'm so inspired. I'm not like that. I can't be that. Yeah. And then other people think, wow, I'm so inspired. I can do that. And I think it's whatever the story that you're telling yourself when you're hearing the inspiration is, do you see yourself in them? Or do you see the differences and how you're not going to be able to do that and how you're not that? And in network marketing, you have no limitations of whatever you look like, whatever your background is, whatever your education level is, whatever your sex is, whatever your religion is, whatever your race is. The only limitation is what's in your mind of what you can achieve. And it is very hard to get past it if you have a negative belief system. So what's so exciting is you don't have to have any kind of talent or even any level of intelligence. You just have to be coachable, and you have to look for people, follow the system, keep getting better, and look for the people that are going to do it with or without you. And you can create massive teams of people that are not like you, the people that are all different kinds of extrovert, introvert, and, great speaker, not great speaker, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so that makes it a level playing field, but it's about your belief system that makes the difference.
Yeah. And what you said too is be hungry. And I think being hungry or being, really wanting it for whatever reason is really a driving factor too.
Yeah.
So kind of to summarize and to close the call, one of the things that you said that I really really appreciated, the question was, what advice would you give to someone coming into network marketing with a background similar to yours? And you said you already have all the same traits you need to succeed if you're already a performer. So read personal development, learn as much as you can about becoming a network marketing professional, and go after it today. It'll change your life. And I love that performers are a good fit. I mean, it just makes me want to go out and talk. I hope that people are inspired by this call to want to go and talk to everybody that they know, that there's something that they have a burning desire to do, that this can be the vehicle for them to do it. I think a lot of people don't realize that it doesn't have to be the one thing that you believe in forever and ever and eliminate everything else. I mean, it can be a vehicle to get you to where you want to go to.
Yeah. Well, and what's, the typical actor jobs, everyone knows, waiter or, some kind of typing or whatever, basically, like, I lived in New York for 14 years and I never waited tables. I chose to be a transcriptionist because I like being in an office and whatever, but that was pretty much what people did so that they could have flexible schedules to pay the bills, to pay for your apartment, to pay for your headshots, to pay for your commercial classes you needed to take, and I worked my butt off because I never wanted to be that actor that said, oh, I can't take this class that I need to take, or I can't do this or that because I don't have the money. But, when I would type for 6 hours, I typed really fast, so I made $30 an hour typing at my transcription job. But I saw pretty quickly how in my company, I could do a 10-minute call and make the same thing, that I would make in 6 hours of typing. And so that was really significant to me. Even if it was sales and all I had to do was sell this without even creating teams, I thought, I think that's worth making a few calls for, And so I remember thinking to myself, like I said earlier, what if I showed this to one person a day? What kind of income could I start to generate from this? And is that worth putting in that time? And so, whatever your network marketing company is, if you can still keep doing what you're doing. We're all going to get 5 years older anyway, right? Keep doing your temp job, keep doing what you need to do for auditions. But what if you were to apply 1 hour a day towards whatever business of something that hopefully you relate to and that you're passionate about? And what if you're to put that in that time, 1 hour a day, 1 hour a day, 1 hour a day, whether you get paid or not, what can you create from that? And so, absolutely, I think, especially if you are listening to this and you're a performer of any kind, my gosh, what do you have to lose from finding a company that you're passionate about? And think of it like sales. Think of it like, I'm going to put in 1 hour a day, making some calls, following the system, and then I'm going to go to my temp job, and then I'm going to go do my Broadway show or whatever. But you have nothing to lose by starting to create that residual income I did not have in my life. I got paid when I sang, and I didn't get paid when I didn't. And I was always acutely aware that I didn't have some company putting away any kind of retirement for me. Some of my friends all went to business school and they had a 401k, and I didn't even have that. I literally was trading my time for money with no leverage, and I had although I tried to save, I had no big future plans. And so when I saw this, it was very clear to me this was my way to take back financial control of my future, so that I knew that every day I was putting in the time towards my future, and and generating an income that came in month after month after month, whether I was working or not. And that just gives you, like you said, a lot more choices.
Yeah. So beautifully said. I know this is going to be shared with a lot of people who can relate to what you're saying, because like you said, you know, it's not just that category. I feel like this can relate to a lot of people. So,
So
anyway.
thank you so much, Jules. We
Thank
loved
you.
having you as our guest. And for anybody that's listening to the call, to thank you for being our guest, they can get a discount on our book through our website, which is theflipflopceo.com. And they just enter Price, Jules' last name, Price, and get a 10% discount.
Is it price 10%?
Yes.
So price 10%.
Thank you.
Oh, that's all good.
Yes.
Yay! Thank you so much, Jules. You're amazing, and I wish I could sing. I think that's like the most important to have, honestly. And I think we're out of time, so I don't think we're gonna have time for you to perform. But I'm gonna take us with, somewhere over the rainbow, or no, I will. I don't know what your thing is, but
next time I see you, I'll give you a little private concert.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, because I do know you're kind of a big deal. So love you. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. It's you guys are amazing. So thanks for having me on today.
Thank you. Mwah. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.